The B2B marketing space has been hijacked. You have been sold a highly profitable lie that if you want to close high-ticket deals, you need to become an internet personality. The current industry advice insists that relevance requires documenting your morning routine, posting 3 selfies a week, and relying on personal charm to manufacture trust. This advice requires you to take low-tier, volume-based consumer tactics and apply them to a high-ticket B2B environment. The rules of those two spaces do not overlap. Relying on personality to sell means paying the charisma tax, the exhausting requirement to maintain a hyper-visible persona just to keep your pipeline functioning. For introverted founders, manufacturing this fake energy creates a weight that eventually breaks the system. Selling with personality also corrupts your client base. It attracts buyers who want access to that exact personality. They expect a friend, a therapist, and a sounding board. The high-net-worth, analytical buyer you actually want to work with sees that exact same charm and views it as a liability. Your ideal premium buyer is a pragmatic executive dealing with a massive operational failure. They have a bleeding neck, and they are actively losing capital. This buyer despises the marketing circus. They do not care about your hobbies or your origin story. They value absolute, unyielding competence. High-ticket B2B buyers do not pay for your personality. They pay for the permanent absence of their own pain. Because they value strict competence, extreme accessibility works against you. Slapping a wide-open calendar link on your website signals that your time has zero value, and by extension, that your business lacks serious demand. The loudest online guru is perceived as a lightweight entertainer, while the silent, structured operator in the background is perceived as the actual authority. To capture these pragmatic buyers, you use a ghost funnel. This is a surgical, anonymous framework designed to sell premium services without requiring a public face. Closing premium B2B deals requires you to stop treating your pipeline like a casual networking mixer and start treating it like a clinical triage ward. You manufacture this trust through an invisible authority matrix. This structure proves your elite expertise using logic over physical presence. Genuine authority comes from a single source, the accuracy of your diagnosis. The data points you present do the heavy lifting a smile cannot. This requires a symptom-to-root resonance strategy. You observe the surface-level complaints in a market, and you write copy that traces those complaints down to the hidden operational failures causing them. When you accurately describe a prospect's nightmare in granular detail, human psychology dictates that the prospect will automatically assume you possess the cure. You do not need to tell them you are an expert. The mathematical precision of your diagnosis forces their brain to assign you God-tier authority. To see the complete step-by-step framework to solve this, grab the full operational SOP linked in the description below. Diagnostic precision bypasses the need for rapport. It completely eliminates the requirement for you to be liked. If you sell highly technical, high-ticket services, the video sales letter must die. It is actively hemorrhaging your conversions. Analytical buyers hate watching videos. They want to scan, assess, and dissect data at the speed of their brain, not the speed of your mouth. Forcing them to watch a video holds their attention hostage. You replace the video with a text-first conversion engine. This is a brutalist, hyperlogical architecture, stripping away the bloat of modern web design. The visual execution relies on weaponized whitespace. You eliminate visual distractions, using high-contrast typography to force the prospect's eye vertically through the argument. This layout mimics a classified military dossier or a rigorous medical journal. The complete absence of visual fluff subliminally projects absolute, unyielding seriousness. At the very top, you deliver a throat punch headline. Within the first 5 seconds, you ignore all polite marketing conventions and explicitly call out their exact financial hemorrhage. You remove visual comfort and force the prospect to read unyielding logic. You trap them in a room with your data, leaving surrender to the argument as their only option. Price objections occur because you allow the prospect to compare your $5,000 fee to the $0 they think it costs to do nothing. This chart maps the cost of inaction. The flat horizontal line is your fee. The exponentially growing vertical line projects their operational failure over 12 months. Forcing them to look at this math alters their perception. The fee shrinks from an expense into a microscopic premium. You reinforce this financial reality with a no-face lead magnet. Generic beginner-level checklists only attract unqualified tire kickers looking for a quick dopamine hit. Premium buyers require a diagnostic audit framework or a rubric. This tool forces the executive to painfully grade their own failing infrastructure across highly technical categories. This relies on the incomplete solution bridge. You give away immense value by diagnosing exactly what is broken and why, but you completely withhold the mechanical implementation required to fix it. The terrifying clarity of the problem shatters their ego. Paying your premium fee becomes the only rational escape route available to them. An open calendar link broadcasts desperation. It tells the market you have no client roster and zero boundaries. You replace the calendar with a friction filter. This is an intentionally painful, highly technical intake form designed to immediately paralyze uncommitted prospects. It uses a 7-question intake matrix. Instead of asking how you can help, you force the prospect to quantify their financial losses and detail their past operational failures in writing. Inside this matrix is the phantom price anchor. Before they can submit the application, they must confirm they have the required capital ready to deploy today. This establishes immediate psychological dominance. The fee is no longer a surprise at the end of a pitch, it is a rigid entry requirement. The severity of this friction flips the traditional sales dynamic entirely. The prospect is now actively pitching you, begging for one of your limited deployment slots. Injecting massive friction into your funnel repels the broke. Paradoxically, it validates the exact high-net-worth client you are looking for. The traditional B2B sales call is a hostage negotiation. You react to facial expressions, modulate your tone, and position yourself as a subservient vendor. The ghost funnel uses the discovery call eliminator. You replace the live negotiation with a clinical 4-minute asynchronous screen share or a stark text proposal. This is the take-it-or-leave-it proposal structure. It contains one undeniable diagnosis, one mechanical protocol, one price, and absolutely zero options. Giving options signals that you do not know what they actually need. If you negotiate your process or offer varied pricing tiers, you immediately commoditize your value. If they hesitate, you do not send eager check-in emails. You deploy a silent follow-up sequence, using cold administrative deadlines to threaten archiving their file. True leverage is the ability to generate massive wealth in absolute silence. You function as a ghost, letting the amateurs chase the spotlight while you quietly dictate the terms and take the cash.